Well, there is just no way around it. Last summer was brutal.
Sure was.
It was. So I asked Brian Pirtle to come out and give us a sense of how do we know what's still savable, what's you need to just toss it, and how to get your plants ready for spring.
Yeah, and last summer was hard. This year is going to be beautiful. I'm so excited about spring. I'm excited about our season of Let's Talk Gardening, and I'm positive about it all, and I'm ready for a good spring and a good year. We've had a couple of real bad ones. This year is going to be a good one. I promise that. I promise that.
I was saying, from your lips to God's ears, right?
All righty. When I get in the garden, the first thing I like to do is I'll get in there and evaluate everything. I'll look at what made it, what did well. If it looks real bad, like if it's over a third to a half dead, I'll go ahead and just rip it on out and take it out. If it looks pretty decent, like this crepe myrtle over here, this is worth saving. And so instead of taking it all the way out, I'm just going to clean it up a little bit. I'm going to take it back and I'm going to prune it back a little bit. I always prune right above another leaf coming out. And I'll just take it back and I'll selectively prune some of these branches off of it.
When I've noticed that the crepe myrtles have bloomed so early this year.
Yeah, they're leafing out very early. The roses are leafing out very early this year. And some other things that I like to maintain in the springtime. This is a bluebeard, and it would be the same if you had a butterfly bush or something like that. I trim them back heavy, and I'll take it back about halfway. Same thing with your butterfly bush. Even if your butterfly bush is 6 feet tall, you can take that butterfly bush down to 3 feet. Don't be afraid to get in there and really prune it.
And in general, the reason, Brian, is that if you do prune it more severely, then it's going to bush out much more intensely.
It'll be much fuller throughout the whole season.
Okay.
And then same with your boxwoods. You know, you just want to come in with your boxwoods and basically give them a little bit of a haircut, shape them up a little bit. You would do the same with hollies. You would do the same with hollies. You would do the same with red tip photinia and any of those things. And now to the thing that really bothers folks about the season is no one wants to take out their winter annuals. Everyone wants to leave these until they just look dead almost in June. But I think that it's time to take them out, and I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to take all these things out. And the reason, I know they look beautiful, I know it hurts to see that, but what I'm going to do here is replace it with some of these incredible plants down here. Look at all the wonderful spring annuals that are ready to be put in. And I'm probably going to replace it with some of these double red begonias down here.
Well, now, it really doesn't make sense, you know, because they look so pretty. But it's important, isn't it? Because if you want to start plants and give them a good start for all season, you know, all summer long, you need to do that.
That's right. You have to get them established early. If you don't get them established till it gets hot, then they're not going to do as well once you get your new stuff in there.
Right.
Other things that you should be doing right now, composting. When you get your flowers out and you're going to put your new ones in, you want to mix some compost into your soil. I like this TLC planting mix, and it's just a real rich compost that you'd mix into your soil to help those plants get a good start. And then I would be fertilizing everything right now. Trees, shrubs, perennials, annuals, fertilize it all. I like this TLC tree and shrub food. But I also, if you have azaleas or hollies, I like to put ironite on them, and it makes them greener and more lush.
Okay, so would that be for acid-loving plants?
Acid-loving plants, you got it.
All right, so that would be azaleas, that'd be rhododendrons, and what else?
And even the broadleaf evergreens like hollies and things like that.
Okay.
Other things I want to do right now is mulch. Mulch is so important. It regulates soil temperature, it helps keep moisture in, and it helps keep the weeds out. So I really do like to mulch. This is grade A cedar. It's one of my favorite mulches. A lot of our customers also like cypress mulch. And back to the azalea thing, if you're doing azaleas, you might want to use something like fine pine. This is finely ground pine bark, and is a great mulch for azaleas. As well as pecan mulch is a great mulch for azaleas. Same thing, acid-loving plants like that acid mulch. And then very last, once I get everything cleaned up, pruned, the very last thing I want to do is put down a pre-emergent. This is preen, and it helps stop the weeds from coming up next year, or throughout the whole season. So you sprinkle it on, you just open it up like that, you sprinkle it on. I always say it's like salt and French fries. And you sprinkle it on your bed and you water it in, and that will keep all the weeds from coming up all throughout the season.
So give me some more tips for making sure, like how do you know, like you said, if something is a third dead? Like I've got a bush that looks a little peaked. Should I just go ahead and rip it out, or should I
A lot depends on your tolerance and where it's at. If it's right by my walkway going into the front door, I'm going to rip it out and put something beautiful in there. If it's in the backyard where only I see it or the family sees it, then I might go ahead and keep it for a while and try to nurse it back to health. So the more visible it is, the more chance I'm going to rip it out. And the more hidden it is, the more that I'm going to leave it and try to baby it along.
Well, I know that the grasses, the ornamental grasses, people have a lot of questions about when to prune them, and they should have already probably done it by now.
Yes,
right?
although
or
you can
do it today.
You can still get it done, and you take them all the way down to about 4 or 5 inches. All the ornamental grasses need to be taken down to about 4 or 5 inches.
Wow. So, and a good way, do you have a preferred method to do that?
Yeah, I like to bungee cord the whole thing with a bungee cord, and then come down at the bottom with head shears like this. And then I come real low and I just chop down at the bottom. Now that's easier said than done, because chopping through it's not an easy task. But that's the way I like to do it. And then when you're done, you've got the bungee cord full of leaves, and you can just take it and right to the trash. All
right. Any other tips that you want to impart?
Water. When all the plants are coming out with their new leaves, water is so important. So I'd be watering now, at least if we don't have any precipitation, probably every other day or so. I'd get some good water on all of my garden plants.
And the trick is, and we've talked about this before, there's a tendency for all of us to want to water a little bit every day. But that's the wrong way to go, isn't it?
That's right. You want to water deeply and less frequently. So when you do water, you want to really soak it down, and then you want to wait a few days to let that dry out a little bit.
All right, terrific. Well, thank you, Brian, for the tips. Appreciate it.
Thank you.